really important is initially I have my hands somewhere on his body. So the safest place that you can put them for the time being is going to be his rib cage, just like this, right? A couple of things. For the newer students, you want to have a good base. Some students, your like knees are too close together. That's no good. Or you're like in a camel pose where your butt's off your heels. You're like this because it looks like you have a good posture, but really this is no good because look at that gigantic space, and your weight is too much up and too much forward. So it's going to be really easy for them to rock you in and then bring you in, and you're going to lose your balance, right? So you want to have your legs like in a nice pyramid, just like this. A lot of times I'm going to go on my shoelaces, especially if I'm in a defensive posture. Like let's say he's trying to go for scoop grips under my legs, like I'll be like kind of playing go like this. But if I'm going to pass, I'm going to be on my toes, right? Like this, right? That's when I'm going to be able to get up. Guys, from here I'm going to choose one of three grips. Either 2 thumbs up in the armpits, armpit and neck, or a double wrist on the shoulder, just like this, right? It kind of just depends, right? So if you have teddy grips, you can use this one, all right? Otherwise, you can use here or here. Guys, here, a lot of newer students feel like, oh, my arms are so exposed. But guys, if your elbows are on the outside of their hips, it's impossible to get arm bar, right? Look, if my elbow's here, Keanu, go for an arm bar on this arm. He can't, look, you see my elbow's blocking his hip. His hip cannot go over my elbow. My elbow has to be on the inside of his hip, or even worse, across his body. So the more it's across my own body or his body, the worse this is going to be for me, arm bars, back takes, etc. When I'm here, I'm going to be pretty safe, right? So now from here, my head is going to pass the abdominal spirit sign, and I'm going to float up. So my feet shouldn't make a sound. It sounds like this, right? There's no sound. I'm stepping one leg back as best as I can, so he's not going to be able to grab both of my legs. For sure, he's going to grab one. Okay, nice. For me, I'm going to posture up. You can keep a hand on the hip, or you can double up and 2 hands like this. So either hand goes on the hip, pushing the knee, or 2 hands on the knee. For the newer students, don't do this. All right, don't try to push with 2 hands, because now you can't turn. From here, guys, I'm turning to let the guard open. As soon as the guard opens, I'm going to start to step this leg back, control the shin, and I'm going to take my other leg back too. All right, and now I'm in front of Keanu. And guys, look what I'm going to do to Keanu. Look how I'm kind of steering him side to side, right? So this is only possible if I push his knees into his chest. Now look, there became a gap underneath his hips. This is good for both of us. It's going to be good for me to pass his guard. It's going to be good for him for guard retention. Okay, but I'm going to use it to my advantage. So look, I'm going to step my left leg out. I'm going to steer Keanu this way, so you see he's already falling. And then I'm going to cut my right foot right into his hip pocket. So I'm going to go 1, 2, and I'm going to cut him like this. From here, guys, I'm about to stabilize the knee on belly. I'm about to drop to a side control. I'm about to do something. Keanu's going to start to turn. Pause. As he turns, guys, I'm going to take my elbow and I'm going to drop it right under his armpit. This hand is going to be already covering this hip. As Keanu keeps following me, I'm going to drop my head and I'm going to use my second hand to block his opposite hip. And I'm going to stabilize in this diagonal position. It's not really a north-south, but it's like halfway between north-south and side control, right? From here, guys, it's very, very hard for Keanu to escape, especially because my arm is inside of his. If he had his arm inside of mine, then this wouldn't be that hard. Okay, then he can push me up and bring his knees into his chest, right? Knees into his chest. Don't even escape. Just bring it in. Exactly. He would be able to do this. But on here, go ahead and do that again, Keanu. He cannot. All right, his knee is going to hit the side of my head. And then when I'm ready, I'm going to go back to side control, and then I'm going to fix my underhook, and then I'm going to fix my cross squeeze. Right? But just to get the points for the pass, stabilize in that position, like almost like a letter X. Okay? So once more, the whole thing. So I'm here with Keanu. 2 hands on the armpits. I'm looking straight ahead. I'm not looking down at him, and I'm going to float up in a sideways stance, just like this. Right? He'll grab one leg. That's fine. I'm going to posture up. I can put the hand on the hip and push, or 2 hands push on the knee. Just depends. From here, keep that grip. I don't really care. I'm going to take my foot out. Okay. As soon as we're here, I'm going to push his knees into his chest, steering him around, and then look. At simultaneously, I'm going to go just like that. And it looks fast because we met halfway, right? I was coming to him, and he was coming to me. Because I was making it. As he starts to turn, I'm going to drop my elbow, lock the hip, and bury my head at his forehead and stabilize here. He's going to move around a little bit, ride him out, and then when you're ready, you got your points. 1, 2, cut to the corner, back and side control, finish. Okay? So it's a little bit gritty, but this is like a very realistic way to look to take it out. Okay, and then we're going to look at part 2 right after. Out.
Just for the sake of the exercise, we pass knee on belly or not.
Yeah, it could be a knee on belly too. It doesn't really matter. So I'm here. I'm steering him. Look, Alex, I'm going here. He starts to turn into me. Maybe he's going to go for a single leg on this leg. Maybe he's going to go for a single leg. Single leg takedown, not single leg X. Come back. And was not going for his wrestling. Not yet. So as he comes in for the single leg, boom, I'm going to drop Alex, smile one side of this. It's the same story. Anytime they're like, yeah. Gustavo knows, like you coming into the person, you're gonna block their arm. You could do a Kimura too, but we're just using this to stabilize it. I'm gonna talk about why I'm not using Kimura. Alright, let's go. Your knees like so close. The closer your legs are gonna be, the weaker they're gonna be, right? It's like on a squat. Like if I was like here, like I can't really squat that way, right? Or here I can. I need to be shoulder width to be able to squat, right? So him being shoulder width, his knees are gonna be like this. Now he's gonna be like more of a ball. So now when I push his knees into his chest, now look, it's gonna be easier for me to spin him, and I'm gonna be able to use that to my advantage. If his legs are like a little closer, like now it's gonna be a little tighter. Well now look, I can just like do a leg drag for him, for example. Now I can cover the hip. I'll do other things too, okay? But when he has his knees like that, it's good for him as well, all right? Because then he's able to block me too. It's for both of us. So what we're here, right? And now look guys, I'm spinning, I'm coming to the side, he comes on his side, and now why am I not chasing the Kimura? You can, but this has happened to all of us, where he does something incorrect. Let's say he goes to his knees. And I'm like, oh man, I got the Kimura, but now he's going to his knees. Now I'm like throwing my legs over and I'm going for this Kimura here. All right, everything is good. And then out of nowhere, piano works it out, and then you end up on bottom, you know, and then you never got your points. So the reason we're doing this is because from the tournament, like a few of our students like weren't able to get the points off the passes, right? Like they were going, they were looking for subs, they were looking for mount, but they were missing and they were getting the points, and then whatever, they got reversed later, or maybe they won, maybe they lost. It doesn't really matter. But here, this is how I'm going to be able to secure the points. This is part one. Part two, for Sebastian, for just for a few of us, if you're sitting up, like there's a position called the body lock, right? A lot of us here do it, where you're here and you're diving in, and then you're going to be body locking the person. What we're doing is actually the reverse body lock. Okay, so I'm body locking piano essentially from here. I can dive in and I can body lock it from here. I don't have to have my hands connected, but look, it's the same thing. It's just from the top side instead of from the bottom side. Does that make sense? And like for a lot of people, you can set it up off of like a knee cut. Let's say I'm in a knee cut. From here, look, I'm gonna put my hand here, and this one's gonna go here. And then in one motion, I'm gonna start to body lock piano on that back step. And now look where I am. See, I'm like in a backwards body lock. You see, or for like Gustavo, he's gonna practice this. Like I'm going all the way, I'm going to north-south, he's pushing, and I'm gonna clear one, and I'm gonna dive in. Now I'm going same thing. We're in the same exact position. We just did it from like this kind of diagonal, right? We didn't do it from the north-south or from, okay? We're just trying to think about this while you're doing it. So now the part B is I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna spin him, I'm coming, I'm going, and now he's coming up, but I couldn't find my elbow inside of his. You see that? My elbow has to end up here. Right? But this time his arm was inside. I can't bring my elbow inside there. So now I'm gonna bring my elbow over the top. My knee's gonna go on the floor. If he grabs my leg or he doesn't, it doesn't matter for me. I'm gonna do a big back step and drop on my hip. Right? As soon as I'm on my hip, what am I gonna go for to you? The chair said, it's stuff we've been practicing for a month already. So from here, I'm connecting my hands, and this right here is gonna become a pillow right underneath his neck in one shot. Fun. Okay, now we're in that same position we've been doing so much, right? Which a lot of us did in the tournament to score the points for the back. Shin goes, I'm putting my foot right into that little space, falling through, kicking this leg through, adjusting yourself, crossing your feet, opening your training partner up, and putting the second hook in for a total of 7 points. 3 for the pass, and then 4 more for the back. Alright, so now the whole sequence. So I'm here with Keanu, I'm coming up, alright, from here, he grabs my leg, I don't really care, I'm gonna start to open up, backing myself away, I'm here, alright, I'm here, I'm circling, I'm coming up. This time, I wasn't able to bring my elbow in, so I'm gonna bring my elbow over the top. You land in this kind of sideways position like this, right? There's a gap, before he's able to turn into me, I'm gonna connect my hands, and I'm gonna shoot my knee underneath his neck like a pillow. The trick here, guys, Brian, is gonna be to sit down. Don't worry about sitting down, and now, for sure, you can go for a Kimura grip if you want to, doesn't matter. Heel goes, shooting it through, adjusting myself, opening him up, putting the same. Alright, only do this, guys, if you got the first part. The first part one more time. From here, I'm circling, he comes against me, my elbow goes there, right underneath this. Blocking the near hip, sprawling out, ribs are on his face if you need to. He's gonna suffer a little bit, shake, 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 and then going back to a more traditional side control and then looking for attachment. Cool, make it your own place. Alright, let's go. 1, 2. Alright, so Keanu, he did the move on me, right? So he puts, and then he spins me, go ahead. Boom, plus. From here, guys, there's no more super deep guard retention. Like, I'm faced the other way. Okay, there's no more throwing my legs around. So for me, like, a good idea is gonna be to start to shoot my legs and then start to get up. Like this. And maybe I'm gonna chase the same leg, or maybe like start to go to your knees and stuff. Like maybe we're gonna be here, and then he's gonna be top turtle. Oh, fight from here. Top turtle, and then now I'm able to kind of reguard. Like I started using him to create some space, so I'm not on bottom side. So that's kind of what we're reenacting, right? So from here, once more, so I'm here, I'm spinning him. As I'm going, he comes, boom. All right, so my elbow dropped into his hip, and I land in this kind of side. So you see, I'm not on my knees. I was on my knees for a second just so I could get this back spin. And I was able to be quick without using so much energy, right? And then from here, my hands are already connecting. He's gonna be too slow to the punch, and I'm gonna switch. And Marwan, look how deep I put the knee. All right, so I gotta sit here, because look at Keanu. He's doing the right thing, he's covering up, right? No one's gonna just give you an easy hook. And now from here, even if he's covered up, my foot comes in. Okay, if my knee is like a little bit low, now it's just, I don't have the mobility to put my hook. If he's not covering up, like yeah, whatever, like it'll come in all day. But no one is gonna do that. Like people are gonna be covering up. So since they're covering up, you gotta be super high. And then now my foot comes in, and now as I fall, I'm gonna be able to kick this leg through. Maybe I'll go for a Kimura grip. Maybe that's gonna become the first part of my arm or whatever. Right? Yeah, you can do that. Like there's so many things that you can do. Cool? Any questions? Let's bring it over. All right. So, like everyone always asks the same exact thing. All right. Like let's say I'm here with Linus. Let's say I'm on bottom. They always say like, oh, but when the person stands up, they grab my legs and then they knock me down. Yeah, that's true, but that's not that big of an issue, all right? Because look, it's all about what can happen to you. So when Linus is on his knees in my close guard, okay, Keanu, name me 2 different categories of things that can happen. What are 2 different categories? So that I can sweep in, right? So, for example, I can knock Linus over, so that's one thing. What else can I do? Leg injury. I can do a leg lock on him, so I can look to go into K guard on him, and I can look to knee bars and heel hooks and stuff for sure. What else can I do, Ryan?
Triangles, arm bars.
Triangles, arm bars, upper body. So I can do lower body stuff. I can do upper body stuff. I can do sweeps. Subu, what other categories can I do? What else can I do?
Eye pokes.
I can eye poke Linus, especially if he's not wearing his glasses. All right. Vince, any ideas? Well, there's one more category that I can do from here.
Okay.
Exactly. I can drag and I can look to start to sit myself up, and I can look to take Linus's back. Right. So I can do all of those things. So when he's on his knees, all of those things can happen. Right. So literally every single category. Right. When he stands, yes, I can knock him down, but when I knock him down, he can get back up. Okay. And when I knock him down, he can also go for leg entries on me. So it's not that bad, all right? It's not good, but it's not that bad. Huh?
It's not as bad. Close guard.
For the camera. It's not as bad. But guys, now the final thing that I want to say is, if you watch footage of the best grapplers in the world, you will never see them in close guard. Okay, so they just refuse close guard. Like Kevin is very good at this. Like when Linus is here, Linus will close guard on me. Boom. They stay like this, all right? And now the knee is separating the 2 bodies. You're just not going to see good grapplers in close guard very often or at all, okay? Because from close guard top, I can't score. MMA self-defense, fine, but for jiu-jitsu, it's not a good place. It's a negative position. I can't do much, okay? So it's even better just to avoid it just by being here or by being in a staggered stance and standing up, etc., and setting up the guard passes instead of letting that person lock you in. It's very frustrating if they know what to do. Make sense, guys? You good? Sweet, guys. Back to winner. Let's start rolling. Masterskya sign, like section, and go. All right.